Hello, you people out there in the cardboard family. Today we're going to be checking out the Star Wars RPG by Fantasy Flight Games. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I was very excited to find out that Fantasy Flight had acquired the licensing rights for another Star Wars RPG. I played the West End game, D6 system. I played the Saga edition from Wizards of the Coast, D20 system, and since then there's been a heavy drought when it came to Star Wars RPG, but along came this system, and we're going to talk about it now. So it's broken up into 3 books. Now each of these 3 books have the same core system in it. So character creation, attributes, skills, combat, all that stuff is going to be exactly the same from book to book. It's just what type of character and what type of campaign do you want to have. So the first book we have here is Force and Destiny. It's got Obi-Wan and Vader on the cover. As you can tell, it's all about the Force. Now it's very heavy in the light side of the Force, but the system allows you to tweak it one direction or the other. So that allows you to have some Darksider campaign characters, but typically you don't want to have characters fall to the dark side in these campaigns. It's not really covered yet, but I'm sure there's going to be a source book out for it at some point. Next up, Age of Rebellion. You've got Luke and Leia there on the cover. It's all about the rebellion, as you can see. You play rebel characters, pilots, special forces, diplomats, people that specialize in propaganda. It's a great system if you want to get involved in the galactic conflict. Next up is my personal favorite, which is Edge of the Empire. This was the first book that they released, Age of Rebellion being the second, and Force and Destiny being the newest one. This one allows you to play all the scum and villainy in the galaxy, whether you want to be a bounty hunter, a slicer, or a smuggler that dumps his cargo and gets in debt with a crime lord. You can play it in these books. This one, personal favorite. So the thing about these books is, like I said, they're all the same setting, Star Wars obviously, and they all have the same character creation system. Force and Destiny has unique things that it does, Age of Rebellion does, and so does Edge of the Empire. Force and Destiny, when you're creating a character, you determine something called your morality. Say, for instance, your morality is justice. There would be a darker side to that, something that is a weakness for yourself, and that would be anger. So the GM can determine during scenarios whether or not your morality comes into play. With Age of Rebellion, it's called duty, and it's what your character constantly strives for when it comes to helping out the rebellion. And it's randomly determined, or you can pick with your GM. Same with Force and Destiny, randomly or picked. Edge of the Empire has a little bit different of one. It's called obligation. It's what you owe somebody. Whether you're a wanted criminal, whether you stole somebody's identity, whether you're in debt to a crime lord, anything like that, that something on the seedier side of the galaxy would get involved with, this is the book. You'll find that in. Now, the neat thing about it, and what I've come to do, is switch. Sometimes an Age of Empire or Age of Rebellion character may get obligation, so I'll roll on it. And sometimes an Edge of the Empire character may acquire duty because he decides he wants to serve the rebellion. And these kind of allow you to talk to each other and use these systems back and forth to create very dynamic characters in the Star Wars universe. It's a cinematic system. Okay, this is not a system that you're going to find tactical based combat all the time. And even the starfighter battles, which is a huge cinematic thing when it comes to the Star Wars universe, it's not really fleshed out in these books. It's more of a mechanic to get you from point A to point B and add a little bit of tension in between. And the other thing about this system is, yes, you can go out and buy these books and you can read through them and it's great, but love you to death, Fantasy Flight. You put out products that, bar none, show production value that's unparalleled by anybody else. The artwork in these books is beautiful. The stories are fantastic. The settings are gorgeous. But you like to make things your own. They love it. So one of the things that you have to do when you play the Star Wars RPG is you have to buy these very specialized dice. And the dice packs that you can go buy are not cheap. They're $15 a piece, and these books are $60 a piece. So just to get a set of dice in one book, it's going to cost you $75. Now that's a large chunk of change when you can get other books cheaper and a set of polyhedral dice at a much lower price than that. But it is what it is. So you have all these interesting dice, and it's a mechanic that doesn't use numbers. Now, say for instance you had a brawn rating, which is something you use for hand-to-hand combat, of 3. You would take 3 of these green dice. These are attribute dice, and you would set them aside, right? Now say you actually know how to fight in hand-to-hand combat. You have a skill on armed combat. You would take one of these green dice away, and you would replace it with one of these yellow proficiency dice. And you would set up your pool over here. Now say you had some kind of thing that made you a dirty fighter. So you would take one of these bonus dice, these little 6-siders right here, and you would set that. So now you have created your dice pool for your event. Now, in a lot of other RPGs, the Game Master would say, all right, you have to beat this certain number. These dice have no numbers on them. What you're going to find on these dice is successes, triumphs, and now I can't think of it off the top of my head, but this giant lightsaber symbol. These are degrees of success. Okay? Now, how do you acquire difficulty? Well, we have these guys. These 8-siders are difficulty dice. Say any melee encounter at encounter range, which would be range 1, is 2 dice. Okay, now say you're fighting somebody that has a brawn rating of 3. So you would add an extra dice to that, because that's their brawn rating. Okay? Say they actually know how to fight in hand-to-hand combat like you. You would take away one of these and put in one of those red threat dice. Okay? You would take these, and you would take these, and you would all put them in your hand. Okay? The thing about this is the DM's not rolling these dice. He's handing these off to the player. So the system somewhat takes control away from both the DM and the player as to what's going on. You'll roll these dice. Roll. And you will count up the successes and failures and threats and triumphs, and they will all cancel each other out, and you will see if you actually succeeded on the task. Now, these threats and these triumphs and all these things can be spent in various ways dictated throughout the book that allow you to critically hit somebody. And even if you get no successes, but you get one of those awesome, lightsaber symbols on there that allow you to have a triumph. I mean, something happened if you didn't exactly go to shoot the guy or you went to punch the guy, but you missed and you hit a panel that shut the door behind him, so now his buddies can't get in. It's a cinematic dice system. It's unique. Never seen it before. But like I said, this system and these books don't work with normal polyhedral dice. You have to go out and you have to buy these dice. What do I think overall of this system? Here's the thing. If you are a die-hard Star Wars RPG fan and you are just thirsty for new content, go ahead and get these. They're beautiful. It's a trip down memory lane. The settings is something you know and love, and you won't be disappointed by this content. You won't. You just absolutely won't. The dice system is not difficult to figure out. You will have yourself and your players rolling very quickly and figuring out how things work rapidly. And you'll be negotiating about bonus dice and setback dice quite a bit. They'll think they owe one. You think that they don't. It's a good time. If you're not willing to learn new RPG systems, or you don't have enough money to go out and buy these books, then try to track down older books, because it is an investment. Fantasy Flight doesn't make bad product, but they make expensive product, and they make you get their own dice. So from all of us here at the Cardboard family, we hope that you enjoyed this review. And if it helps you decide whether or not you want to get the Star Wars RPG by Fantasy Flight Games, come back, hit that subscribe button, and have a great day. And may the Force be with you.